Quote, I see in Fight Club the strongest and smartest men who have ever lived. I see all this potential, and I see squandering. God damn it, an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables, slaves with white collars. Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need. We're the middle children of history, man, no purpose or place. We have no great war, no great depression. Our great war is a spiritual war. Our great depression is our lives. You're not your job. You're not how much money you have in the bank. You're not the car that you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet. You're not your khakis. You're the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world. We're designed to be hunters, and we're in a society of shopping. There's nothing to kill anymore. There's nothing to fight, nothing to overcome, nothing to explore. In that social emasculation, this everyman is created. Unquote. Gavin Smith. We all know the first rule of Fight Club is that you do not talk about Fight Club. And the second, you do not talk about Fight Club. This essay might be breaking those rules just a little. Just don't tell Tyler. Through the use of masculine characters like Tyler or the narrator, Jack, and conflicts that are created through conformity and capitalism, both Fight Club and the film Gladiator mirror each other in a way in which both advocate for the breaking of norms in a society filled with one-dimensional men bent on spending money and doing meaningless everyday routines. Gladiator is similar to Fight Club in numerous ways, despite the historical differences and the time gap in which they both take place. According to Robert Schultz, the masculine characters in these movies, Tyler, Jack, Maximus, can be classified as white guy protagonists stuck in their social situations. Their choices and actions, especially on the job, are limited to meaningless, culturally prescribed, and employer-sanctioned behaviors unless they choose to take extreme actions to change the routine circumstances of their everyday lives. The central and common dimension of their situations is the mundane and even dehumanizing nature of their work. Jack is a typical cubicle inhabitant, stuck sitting at a desk all day or traveling once a week to look at wrecked cars for an automotive company. He is continuously in a routine that never ends. He is stuck in a cycle of consumerism in which he is part of the wheel that makes the car go forward. To compensate for his boring life, Jack begins to buy things, but ends up failing to find purpose and happiness in his work and consumption. In result of this failure, he attends group meetings for people with terminal diseases and hopes to find what he lacks by interacting with others who face certain death. Jack is submissive to capitalism, and being a consumer keeps him tied down until he realizes he needs to get rid of all material things. Before his apartment is blown up and he moves in with Tyler, Jack belongs to, as Jennifer Barker says, a nation of ordinary men desiring the freedom that submission brings. He keeps buying and buying, hoping this cycle of consumerism will begin to make him happy. Meanwhile, the protagonist of Gladiator, Maximus, faces literal death over and over again from the first few moments the movie begins to roll. Maximus lives in a world of eat or be eaten, but that does not make his role any different from Jack's. Like Jack in Fight Club, Maximus is just a pawn for the bigger and stronger society that looms large in ancient Rome. And similar to our protagonist in Fight Club, Maximus is a small player in what keeps the big wheel of capitalism moving. Those at the top put their money into Maximus and the other gladiators battling it out to the death. Thousands of people come to the arena and pay to be entertained by gladiators' deaths. Jack is much like the gladiators when he sits at the desk. He is working so others above him can be entertained. Capitalism lives and breathes because of the people at the bottom that do the dirty work. Characters like Maximus and Jack show that we need to break the norms of a society bent on spending money, because we are only funneling more power to those at the top, who can destroy us at any moment. But as we see in both Fight Club and Gladiator, Those at the bottom can overcome and obliterate those at the top. Tyler Durden and Maximus, as Alex Tuss says, are both outsiders set adrift amid the indifference of society, return to plague their inventors, the cultures and value systems that shape them. They succeed in doing so through an imagination that allows them to find themselves already having performed the crime that equivocally fulfills ambition. In terms of masculinity in these films, both show gruesome displays of man's power to hurt and kill one another. The intensified ideology of manhood, portrayed in Fight Club and Gladiator, acts as a compensatory response to fears of humiliation in the American marketplace. The masculinity in these films ties back to consumerism in a way that Lynn M. Ta says emasculates capitalism with violent solutions. Ta goes on to say that the use of violence in these films creates a vehicle for critiquing a culture dictated largely by consumerism and capitalism, as well as exposing the contradictions of normative gender relations. In other words, Jack, for example, feels victimized by a culture that has stolen his manhood. Maximus feels the same way. At the beginning of the movie, he is a powerful Roman general that is loved not only by the people, but by the emperor too. But due to complications, he is stripped of his power and manhood and made into a slave, a gladiator. When both of these men lose everything what they thought to be their manhood through power, consumerism, and capital things like money and products, they must gain back in these films. They use what is left of their masculinity, the raw force behind their fists, to fight for what men have had since the beginning, which Gavin Smith would say is to overcome, to hunt, to kill, to fight. Men were designed to be hunters, not to be put into a society of shopping, of picking out the right color tie, or picking out the perfect ring. Fight Club and Gladiator use masculine characters and the conflicts they are put in due to conformity and capitalism, to advocate for the breaking of norms, such as shopping and spending money. Both films are shouting, "You are not your job, your money, your car, or your khakis. Mankind is more than that."
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?